We're joined right now by someone who was in the news a couple of weeks ago when the IRS scandal broke, revealing that a Jewish group, called a pro-Israel Jewish group called Z Street, had been harassed, if you will, by the IRS in the ongoing IRS scandal. She also happens to be and she's the president and co-founder of Z Street. She also happens to be a columnist at the Jewish Press. And there's a story that I want told that I put her on the show for. And we welcome in Lori Lowenthal Marcus. Hello, Lori. How are you?
Hi, Steve. I'm fine, thank you.
Good to talk to you. All right, first let's go to the IRS for a second, if we can. What is the status right now? I mean, of Z Street, and talk about what the group went through when you presented an application and how it progressed.
Okay, we filed for tax-exempt status in December of 2009. We were sent back a number of questions. In particular about our board members, seeking additional information about them. And then in July of 2010, our corporate counsel contacted the IRS agent responsible for our file just to find out how things were progressing and whether they needed additional information. The IRS agent told our lawyer that our case was taking a long time and would be delayed because the IRS has to give special scrutiny to organizations connected to Israel. The agent also told our lawyer that many of those organizations, the files were sent to a special unit in Washington, D.C. to determine if the policies of the organizations and the activities contradicted those of the administration's public policy.
That is the most, to me, amazing statement of all. As if it should matter, as if it should matter what whether it contradicts the administration's policies. What the heck difference does that make? So what happened next?
Well, what happened next is the Z Street board got together to discuss this because a number of us, myself included, are lawyers, and we knew that is simply unconstitutional inquiry on the part of a government. And so we decided, although we knew it would be difficult, that we would bring a lawsuit against the IRS. So we did in August of 2010. The IRS responded several different times in several different ways. The last position that they took was that, of course, they had to look into our organization because we have to do with Israel, and terrorism happens in Israel. And they had to look extra carefully because they thought we might be funding terrorist activity. Now, we don't fund anything. We are purely an educational entity, a tiny little educational pro-Israel group. That's it. The other thing that they did, which is really chilling, is they told us, the IRS told us, that they were going to invoke a newly passed regulation that was completely discretionary, but they were going to invoke it and suspend any activity on our application because we had sued them. So we haven't gotten anywhere. We don't have tax-exempt status. We're completely in legal limbo. We do have our first court hearing on July 2nd in D.C. Federal District Court.
Well, are you pursuing this on your own, or are you part of any group or any class action? Many of the Tea Party groups are involved, or is this your own attorney and your own lawsuit?
No, this is our own lawsuit. Don't forget, we started this back in 2010.
Right.
That's when we first filed, and nobody else was talking about these issues. The Tea Party issues came up later. I don't know who else had what kind of unpleasant experiences, we'll call them, because really everybody is afraid to go up against the IRS. It's a frightening place, and now we know why.
Well, I give you all the credit in the world, and we'll certainly follow that. Keep in touch with us and let us know what that is in July, early July, you said?
July 2nd.
Okay, good. Well, then we'll contact you and find out how it went and what took place. Now let's move on, and we're talking to Lori Lowenthal Marcus, who is also, in addition to president, co-founder of Z Street, also is a columnist at the Jewish Press. You did a story. Something took place in Paterson, New Jersey, which is really outrageous. And to me, Congressman Bill Pascrell has really differentiated himself as very pro-Palestinian and not a friend to Israel in many regards. That's my opinion. And I think when Barack Obama threw Steve Rothman over the bus in the race between the two recently, it spoke volumes to where, even though Rothman was the first person in the state of New Jersey, elected official to support Barack Obama prominently, I think it spoke volumes to where Barack Obama lies on these issues as well. But there was a Palestinian American Day on Sunday, May 19th in Paterson, New Jersey, and the Palestinian flag was raised over City Hall. But you wrote a great piece on this. Tell us about the problem. Besides the obvious, tell us about the problem with the organizer named Qadar Abu Asab.
Well, the other thing is that I had seen accounts of this event. The Palestinian American Day had been named and that there were various public officials present. But there was something odd in the reporting, which was that the Arab American Civic Organization, in one place, Abu Asab was quoted as being the leader of it, and in another place in the report, it said that the president of the organization was opposed to the event and thought it was provocative. So I started looking into this Qadar Abu Asab, and I called all of the different, Pascrell's office and a state assemblyman's office and the mayor of Paterson, New Jersey, all of whom had showed up with proclamations. And none of them knew this Abu Asab. I did, a little bit of research, and I immediately found out that he had been convicted of major credit card fraud and had done time in prison. He's a convicted felon, and this is someone who had easy access to all of these politicians' offices. Nobody looked into him, and the really ironic thing is that Abu Asab had been very vocal when the New York Police Department had their program of surveillance of Muslim organizations to ferret out terrorism. Abu Asab had been very, very critical and said that he told his followers not to cooperate with authorities, and because it was so outrageous that they were looking into Muslims. Well, here he is, a Muslim, and that's fine, except he is a convicted felon, and there's a reason why people should be looking into him.
Well, it's funny because the president, in his speech the other day on terrorism and going forward, talked about how the Muslim community are the first to come forward and cooperate with law enforcement. And I just had Peter King on earlier today and asked him about that, and he's held hearings on this very issue, as you well know, Lori, and he said no, that's unfortunately not the case in too many instances at all.
Well, it certainly is not the case with this particular person who has the nerve to complain about our authorities trying to protect us, and instead of cooperating, he's telling people not to cooperate with authorities and is hiding this major secret. He told me that it wasn't relevant. I shouldn't talk about it. I'm sorry, but it is relevant.
And you had the mayor presenting a city proclamation commemorating the event. Congressman Bill Pascrell was there for the flag raising over City Hall. He presented a letter of special congressional recognition. Now, you go on in this piece. You made a call to the mayor's office. You wanted the wording of the proclamation. You wanted to know who it was written to. I mean, you got the runaround first class.
Yes, I did, although I have to say, I think at this point they probably have begun to look into Abu Asab. So I guess that's a good thing. But
well, what happened when you called the mayor's office?
Eventually, they told me that I had to file the local equivalent of a Freedom of Information Act request simply to get the wording of the public proclamation. I've never heard of such a thing. It's insane.
Usually they read the proclamation at these kinds of events.
That's all they're about is ceremonial. The idea that it's, a secret, top secret that you have to get clearance for is really shocking, to say the least.
So you think that this the good that came out of this is that they are looking into Abu Asab?
Look, a balance has to be made. How much do you look into people's private lives? And it's a reasonable idea to consider people's privacy. But once someone is entering the offices of elected officials and seeking government action on their behalf, I think it's appropriate to look into exactly who are these people. And in particular, what he was convicted for is a crime that has to do with dishonesty.
Sure.
So why would you take this person's word, and just accept whatever he's telling you and put the information in a proclamation? That I found really troublesome. Not the fact that personally, the fact that they had this Palestinian American Day on the day when it's really at the same time as
Israel Independence Day. Yeah.
It's a provocation.
Sure. I believe it's a provocation. Now, did you ever find out what the proclamation said?
No. Nope.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Maybe our good friend Congressman Bill Pascrell could fill us in on that. Yeah, lots of luck with that. Hey, listen, Lori, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. We'll have you back. We'll call you the first week of July, find out how that went, and keep on this and let us know if anything changes here.
I sure will. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Lori Lowenthal Marcus, ladies and gentlemen, president and co-founder of Z Street.